On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
You happy?
Are you happy? Are you happy?
Why do you ask?
Why do you ask?
Well, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
It just happens to be
International Day of Happiness.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
Right?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
It's International Day of Happiness.
And if you're happy, I'm happy for you.
It's showtime, baby.
Yes, it is showtime, and what a better day than to have International Day of Happiness with all the crap that's going on in this country.
Absolutely, Evan. That's a nice spirited way to get us on a positive note and, appreciate life. And as we look forward to the weekend on the Treasure Coast.
And I say crap with a capital C because this is just getting to be ridiculous.
Yeah. And many people are hunkered down but I see a lot of people just finding ways to bide their time.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, enjoy cooking, and those that have stocked up, maybe can do that with some fresh produce, and a lot of people getting out and walking around the block. And I think Planet Fitness is the big fitness center that shut its doors too.
Yeah, they sure did.
I believe they have an app, and they have something online where you can even go on there and get some exercise courses from them.
Yes, definitely. So, yesterday when I got home, I don't know if I want to say the terminology hunkered down, but I went from here and I drove home and I raised my garage door, and I have this like anti-gravity chair. You ever seen those things?
An anti-gravity
chair.
Does it rise in the air, some sort of thing?
Anti-gravity chair. When you sit in the anti-gravity chair, it doesn't go back. It doesn't go forward. It just goes with your body weight and balances out. So it's like anti-gravity.
Can you bring this chair out to the beach?
Yeah, you can.
Sounds
it's
like
really
it would be cool. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Does it feel like you're floating when you sit in it or something?
No, not really. It's more so reclines back.
Yeah.
And it's just like anti-gravity. It's hard to explain it, but I raised my garage door up yesterday, and I just sat there for a couple of hours and just enjoyed the breeze, looked up at the sky, and just kind of, thought for a minute. I'm like, man, I'm going to enjoy life, because there's so much crap going on in the world. I don't know. I just can't explain it.
I think a lot of people are doing that, taking moments to contemplate and feel relaxed.
Yesterday was one of the first days in years, and I mean years. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone about this, but yesterday was one of the first days in years that I hit the off button. You can do that? I know.
You hit the off button on your alarm clock?
No. I hit the off button, meaning I turn myself off.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm the kind of guy that has to go. I have to keep moving. I have to be doing something. I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my nature. It's what I do. That's the way I'm programmed. So yesterday when I was sitting, I was beside myself because I had never turned myself off. I know that sounds strange, but I don't know how to put this, but I'm just going to say it bluntly. Most people turn themselves on, and I don't mean it in that way, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, I just turned myself off. I hit the off button.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It was strange.
Did you go sit in a corner and do some yoga or some sort of thing?
No, I sat in the garage, had the big door open, enjoyed the breeze coming in, and just laid back. And I had my cell phone here on my shoulder.
Oh, wow.
I had my arms crossed like this, and I was just laying back. And
you felt so much zen.
Yeah, I felt zen yesterday.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's why you have an aura about you today, and your spirit is so relaxed.
I woke up. I went to
it.
bed at 8:00 last night, and I woke up. Get this! I woke up and I looked at the clock, and it said 2:22.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it said 2:22. Now I've always seen 1:11, but I've never seen 2:22. So it was too early for me to get up. So I tried to go back to sleep. I laid there, I tossed and turned. I think I dozed off for a little bit. And then I woke back up at 3:23. And then I laid there till like 3:44.
Yeah.
And then I just got up. I just said, the heck with it. I can't go back to sleep. So I got up. I started to do some things in my office. Got my breakfast ready. Got my bag ready. And then I walked out of the house at, I probably was going to say about 4:10
Mm-hmm.
this morning. But I feel refreshed this morning.
You're ready for the weekend then.
Yeah, but
And-
there's
yeah.
nothing to do.
And you know what? You
That's
mentioned
the whole part about it.
You mentioned your garage. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
up at 3 a.m. and I don't get out of bed till 4, but I
Yeah.
can't get back to sleep. So maybe the next time I'm up at that 3 o'clock hour and just feel wide awake, I should go out and clean the garage before I can sit in it.
Well,
Ours needs some cleaning and
okay.
cleaning out right now.
okay,
But you get, through the years, you want to accumulate things.
right.
And then you tend to accumulate things so fast. And then you put them in the corners of the garage and things that you're not even using.
Are you a hoarder?
I'm really not. There is one thing I am proud about. The last time I did take down our hurricane shutters, Gary
Okay.
and I,
Okay.
we wrapped them all together in different segments. So they're in
Okay.
our garage, and I labeled each set of our hurricane shutters of the metal frame ones on, which part of the house they have to go.
See, I took a perma marker, even though I have a chart and my shutters are numbered. I took a perma marker, and on each shutter, I wrote which window they go.
Mm-hmm.
So, like living room, back left, back right, things like that, bathroom. So this way, instead of trying to dig through and find that chart where all the ones go and the number 2s and the number 3s, I have them written with a black perma marker on the shutter.
Yeah.
What window? Now, it doesn't matter. Like if you have 6 shutters on a window, it doesn't matter that it's number 1 of 6, 2 of 6, 3 of 6, 4 of 6. That doesn't matter because they're all going up on the window.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they say the window, then we're good.
And it's nice when it comes to the time that you have to do that event. And usually it's in the heat of hurricane season when
Mhm.
it's just bloody hot outside.
Oh, I don't do it when it's hot out. No.
I
No.
do it. I just do it when I can to get it done and get it done early. But it's nice to, like you said, have that system going with all of the shutters
Yeah.
placed right
Takes me
in your garage.
takes me about hour and a half
Yeah,
by myself
I think
to
that's
shutter up
about
a
our
whole
time.
house.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
I
And
think
it's nice because it's a 1-story home.
Uh-huh.
So I don't have to get up on a flipping ladder
Yeah.
and worry about doing a balancing act like the great Walenda going on a tightrope.
I know there's a lot of people that have to even hire people. I can understand why there
Mm-hmm.
are single moms, single dads at home.
Yeah.
They have to be at work that 24/7.
Yeah.
People like you and I have what I call kind of like side. It's not side action. It's
Side hustle.
Side hustle.
A side hustle. If you say you have side action, I'm leaving.
Then Gary would be leaving me too.
Yeah. You better get your Playgirl magazine and go sit in the corner.
But but yeah, but it's for us. It's nice to have that side hustle thing and to actually have time to be at home and take care of our shutters.
Yeah.
I mean, I run into a lot of people at my other job who they do have to hire people to come in and put them up and take them down, and elderly people and whatnot.
My business partner for my entertainment company has a side hustle. He has a shutter business.
Yeah.
So they go and they take people's shutters down and they put them up. More so people that have the 2-story homes
Mhm.
because people don't want to get up on the flipping ladder.
I know.
So
I know.
they have what's called a retainer fee, and they get retained for a year. It's a flat fee, and then that fee reserves them and guarantees that they will show up.
Okay.
Now, there is a charge to put the shutters up and to put the shutters down. But to get on my partner's list, you have to pay this retainer fee.
That's kind of smart business.
Yeah,
But
it is.
because then the folks, when that time comes, they know that they're going to have somebody
Mhm.
there and they're going to show up, or they better.
Exactly. And he's got a team of about 6 guys,
Yeah.
and they descend on a home, and it's amazing what they do.
They could get a band and call themselves the Shutter Boys.
The shutters. Yeah,
Or
the
the
Shutter
Shutters.
Boys. Yeah. Shutters.
Straight from East Coast, baby.
Right? Exactly. I like that. I'm going to have to say that to him.
Yeah.
To let him know that. It's an idea. I'm going to have to patent that before you do. Maybe I'll start a website, shutterboys.com.
Maybe I could come in and fill in, and maybe I'll whip out a silver spoon or something, or a big spatula, and bang it on the shutters.
Now, what would that do?
Add some musical background or something.
Okay. Yeah, you could be the drummer. You could beat it all day. All right, very good. Let me see. Where else? Where else are we going?
Oh,
So later on today, we have some special guests that are going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour. Something that's very near and dear to me. I'm always, you hear me mention it on the air about bullying. Bullying is almost as bad as a pandemic with what's going on right now in our country. And bullying is a pandemic as far as I'm concerned. It's done all over the world, and it's got to stop. It does. And two people that are attempting to make the world a better place to live. And when I say that line, I think of Michael Jackson's song "Heal the World," and that song relates. I relate that song "Heal the World" to what Dan and Rebecca are doing with Speak Life the musical. It's a musical against anti-bullying, and actually, Christian from Priest and a Rabbi is part of that production.
okay.
So we're actually going to cross paths today with Dan and Rebecca, and we're going to have a couple of the cast members in here, one of them being my son, who actually plays the part of what's called the victim. He was bullied as a child. So this play and musical is very near and dear to him, and he's very passionate about it. And it's changed his life completely around.
Remarkable. Is Christian in the play?
Yeah, Father Christian plays the janitor.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be nice because I've heard that he was like in a one-man play where he was the only person in a one-act play.
Right.
And
he's a one-man band anyway.
I
but
missed
that's
him
besides the point.
I missed him on stage during that one, so I'll get to see him probably with this one your child is in. So I'll
have to let you know when the play is back in production again, just because with all this crap that's going on in the world, the musical is on hiatus.
Oh, I know. And
so
plenty of good reason to be.
They do video conferences now with all the kids and have meetings online. So to keep everybody away from everybody, as you know, what's been asked to do. We haven't been ordered to quarantine and stay in our homes yet, but California has. The governor has issued the order for everybody to stay in their homes in California. Now, if that happens, you and we get what's called a buy in that. We have a letter that we carry with us that enables us to come to the radio station and broadcast and do what we need to do.
Yeah, we'll be able
to
the news. Come here at least because the news can't shut down.
No, news has to go.
Have to keep that fired up.
And if push were to come to shove, I could still broadcast from my home because I have a radio studio in my home, and through the magic of internet and engineering, I could actually connect you to me from your home, and we could still do the morning show from our homes.
Yeah, that would be fascinating.
That would be fun.
I would love to just relax in the comforts of my own bedroom or living room and do the show with you.
Wearing your pajamas. We wouldn't see each other.
I would have to get like those very good designer pajamas.
Designer? Nobody's going to see you, though.
I know, but I would feel better in them, you see?
Okay, all right.
It would just make me feel better.
Gucci, Liz Claiborne, something like that?
Yeah, you bet.
Coach? Does Coach make pajamas?
I think they do.
I think they just make purses and shoes.
This is my Coach purse here.
Okay. All right, it's got the big C on it.
Yes,
all right, I've seen you carry that a couple of times.
You did what?
I've seen you carry that a couple of times here.
It's getting heavy.
It's all right. What do you have in there? A brick?
Yeah.
6:20 right now. It's news time, brought to you by Discovery Senior Living. And Bonnie has the headlines this morning. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. There are now 432 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Florida. More than half of the cases are in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. The Department of Health says the statewide death toll has climbed to 9. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis says testing in Florida is ramping up.
the federal government has delivered a full testing center supplies to Jacksonville, and they've done partial for Miami-Dade and Orlando.
DeSantis says the Broward County mobile testing site will be run by the National Guard and will allow for test results to be returned more quickly. Florida lawmakers have adopted a new budget, but uncertainty remains.
It's a $93 billion deal.
I'm not going to shake your hand.
Governor Ron DeSantis joking with the Speaker of the House, but the governor says this coronavirus outbreak is a serious threat to Florida's economy.
Looking at a different economic picture. I think it's one we can recover from. Don't get me wrong, but that is going to be an issue that we'll have to address in future sessions.
The budget includes $500 million for increased teacher pay, raises for correctional workers and state employees, and more money to combat blue-green algae. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Distilleries around the state are now working with alcohol in a different way. They're making hand sanitizer and distributing it free of charge to first responders. They plan to keep offering it as long as their supplies last. And the coronavirus is being blamed for the death of a man who recently visited Disney World and Universal Studios. The California man died yesterday, over 2 weeks after he visited the Orlando area for a conference. A woman who claims to be his sister said on social media that the 34-year-old man developed symptoms 2 days before his flight home. Orlando-based Darden Restaurants now says it has an emergency plan to pay all of its workers, even though many of their restaurants are shut down.
The line of credit, the company will soon have about $1 billion in emergency money available. The company's brands include Olive Garden, Capital Grille, Seasons 52, Bahama Breeze, and Longhorn Steakhouse. Earlier this month, Darden also set up a paid sick leave program. Larry Spillman, Orlando.
3 days after Florida education officials decided to close all public schools through April 15, the Martin County School District has laid out a new plan to give students meals and distribute laptops for virtual learning. The Martin County School District will move to a virtual learning plan on March 30. Right now, students are on spring break. Next week, teachers and students will begin preparing for virtual learning. The following week, virtual learning will begin. Teachers will begin to gather supplies next week. If a student needs a laptop, they will be able to begin picking up a laptop from their school on Wednesday. On Monday, breakfast and lunch will be available for students to pick up at 4 area schools: Warfield Elementary School, Port Salerno Elementary, J.D. Parker Elementary School, and Home Sound Elementary School. The food can be picked up between 9:30 a.m. and noon. Superintendent Lori Gaylord is also hopeful there will still be opportunities to celebrate the success of high school seniors graduating, but it's still too soon, she says, to know what kind of impact there might be on graduation ceremonies. And finally, the Treasure Coast Food Bank received a big donation from Walt Disney World Orlando Thursday. A tractor trailer loaded with food arrived after Disney closed operations to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. The food bank was grateful to receive fresh produce, bread, and meat. The food will help families in need in Indian River, St. Lucie, Martin, and Okeechobee counties. Of course, the rapid spread of the coronavirus is causing cancellations and postponements of sporting events and affecting sports around the globe. Now the list of players in the NBA who have tested positive continues to grow as the Lakers and Celtics have both confirmed players on their rosters have tested positive for COVID-19, with Boston guard Marcus Smart confirming his diagnosis on social media. Major League Baseball will not start the 2020 season until at least mid-May. And once again, tonight you can listen for the best of the last 40 years NCAA tournament action. Tonight we'll air the huge 2018 upset with UMBC in Virginia at 8. So listen right here on AM 1450 WSTU or to our sister station 1590 WPSL. News time 6:26. We'll be back with weather and traffic together.
627 on the Get Up and Go show on a TGIF edition. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
And it's a nice Friday morning, too, to be out and about, Evan. Right here, we don't have any accidents, including major highways, and Federal Highway is moving well right now. There's your latest look at traffic. 70 in Port St. Lucie. We have 73 in Stewart, and here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy first full day of spring this morning along the Treasure Coast. Temperatures starting off in the low 70s with 60s inland. Other than some patchy fog, your morning drive should be quiet with mostly clear skies overhead. This afternoon, highs reaching the low to mid 80s under partly sunny skies and a slim chance for a quick moving shower. Winds will stay breezy out of the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 69 degrees. A warm and sunny weekend on tap. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s, highs reaching the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny skies with low rain chances and light southeast winds. Great boating conditions, but a high risk for rip currents across area beaches.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
I think I did it again. I just touched my face. It's the new cardinal sin. Oh, baby, I thought I never did it, but I guess I do, like 5 times a minute. I do it so much, it's scary, but it's involuntary. Ooh, baby, baby, ooh, I did it again. I just touched my face. What else did I touch? Ooh, baby, baby, oops, I just touched my clothes and then scratched my nose. I'm not that disciplined.
Yeah, we need a little bit of humor this morning with
Yeah.
all the crap going on in the world.
What did he say? He just touched
Oops,
his
I just touched my face.
and I just touched my nose.
Yes,
Did he
my
say
nose?
nose?
Yes, said
Okay.
nose, face, eyes, cheek.
And it's hard not
teeth,
to do
lips.
it.
No,
I mean,
no. Look, I'm touching my nose.
I know it's
See?
like you get that
Can you
little
touch
itch
your nose?
here and there.
Can you touch your nose?
I can. I'm not
See,
feeling
there you
weird
go.
or
No.
touchy
Scratch
about
your
it.
cheek. You got hand sanitizer. It's all you. Did you sanitize this morning?
Of course I did.
You did?
Each and every morning I do, yes.
You do? Okay, hold on. I'm going to give you a little dab right
All
now.
right.
It's that
To
lavender.
make sure.
Yeah, there you go. Hold on. There we go.
I do like the smell of it
There
anyway.
you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's
There you
that
go.
it's that wake up
Okay.
kind of
Rub it-
lavender
rub it-
scent.
Rub it together there. There
Usually
you go.
the lavender is like it relaxes your mind and
Okay.
your spirit. This is kind of a lavender alert, I like to call it.
You've been sanitized.
Yeah.
Just remember that. I've sanitized you now. So it's that time of the morning that we talk a little bit about viral videos. So if you have a few minutes, this Rube Goldberg cat feeder is amazing. It's definitely elaborate, but it also relies on the cats to get it started and keeps it moving so they can get their food. Now, this is something for your cats. You'll see one cat knock over a domino, another rings a bell, one presses a button, and one licks some food off of a dish. So
Cats love that sort of stuff too,
let's see
Evan.
here. Let's see what it does here.
I used to get that little circle ball where it was a plastic circle with a ring.
There's the sound. There go the dominoes all the way around. Pretty cool.
The cats like that sound too. It's soothing to them, like a paper bag, the crackling of a paper
look at
bag
that.
is.
The ball goes down, makes the little thing go down off the shelf, and it's going around and around. I know it's tough for people to imagine what the heck we're talking about.
Cats are smart too. With they'll play that domino game every time, just knowing that food will be available. They're smart that way. My cats know right when I'm waking up to give them some food. My little one will be pawing me in the face at 4 a.m. Saying it's time.
If you're a parent out there and you're having trouble getting your kids to wash their hands, well, we have a solution for you. Try showing them this video that we just came across of an orangutan washing her hands. Her name is Sinta, and she was rescued as a baby, and now she lives in the Borneo orangutan survival habitat in Indonesia. And she demonstrates in the video how to wash her hands.
There she is.
Music.
She's washing her hands.
Look at that. Pretty cool, huh?
Those are some really big hands.
Look at that. Putting her hands together. Okay, there we go. Washing them, scrubbing them up. Look at that. She's literally washing her hands.
Is she using hand sanitizer?
No, she's doing her. Now she's shaking them dry. Okay, here we go. I want to know who put this music together.
I've never been up close to see the hands on a orangutan before, but those hands, they look like they're human hands, only triple the times in size.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
The fingers are like 9 miles long.
Yeah, they're like huge, long nails on those fingers.
Yeah, I've got big hands. I have my daughter has hands as big as mine.
Yeah, they're
Everybody
huge.
teases my daughter. They say she's got man hands. I can palm a basketball, and so can she. So she's got some pretty big hands.
Yeah. Like, was she the girl in Jerry Seinfeld where Jerry goes out to eat and they're at the restaurant? And
I don't know. Why don't we just call her up and wake her up this morning? She'd probably get really ticked off at me.
He looks across the table at his date, and her hands are just extremely large, like they're larger than the man hands segment.
There's a video out of a little girl and her dog sharing an adorable dance. It usually makes people uncomfortable when you see a dog trying to stand on its hind legs with a person making it dance, but this Shaggy pup is a little different. He's dancing with a little girl, and it looks like he's having a blast. He's almost a better dancer than most people that I know. Let's see if we can listen in if there's any audio on this. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Nice dancing.
Look at how adorable.
He's a lot taller than she is on
it's
those
a big
two
old
legs.
Shaggy dog dancing with this little girl.
What kind of dog is that, I wonder?
It's a Shaggy dog.
Shaggy dog.
Yeah, it's a Shaggy dog.
It is. It's big and shaggy. I can't figure out what breed that is.
Huge. Look.
It looks between.
Look at that, Bonnie. That's amazing.
Between the cross between like maybe a chow or some sort of a big sheepdog. It's so shaggy and large.
Really adorable.
Yeah, they taught him how to do the two-step.
Yeah. Here's a viral video, another one. It's a woman somewhere in Italy standing on her balcony playing the flute. Now, she's awful, but that's only half the story. All of a sudden, a guy comes out yelling and swinging an empty plastic jug that knocks the flute out of her hands. She picks up the flute and jug and then starts going at him with the jug while shouting, at the top of her lungs.
What a sight.
Here she is, playing the flute. There they are. She's ticked.
That flute could become a bad weapon or something.
Yeah.
She needs some anger management with that.
Yeah.
Either that or keep playing the flute sweetly. And don't use a
I don't know
weapon.
if that was too sweet what she was doing, Bonnie. That just was not. That just was not.
Well,
good.
it wasn't the best, but it was better than accosting somebody with it.
This is true. This is true. I have some did you know facts I want to go over with you this morning. Breathing through your nose boosts your memory by improving the transfer of information from the senses to the brain storage network.
Oh, okay. So does that mean if you breathe and inhale and let out a
Only through your
deep breath?
nose.
Oh, only through the nose.
Only through your nose. Can't breathe through your mouth.
So it's going to make your brain sensories better,
It's
more
gonna
alert,
make you more intelligent.
kind of like the hand sanitizer
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
inhaling.
Did you know that 1 in 4 drivers run a red light at least once a week? Are you guilty of that?
I'm not.
I am.
Are
I'll be
ya?
the first to admit it.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit it. Did you know that the average teenage girl slams a door about 150 times a year?
I believe that.
That's an interesting fact.
Oh yeah, I remember being a teenage girl,
Uh-huh.
and oh yeah, some of the teenage girls, they can go.
Did you have
Dude.
attitude when you were a teenage girl? Because you look like the type that was like a real sassy one
Oh,
when you were a teenage girl.
I wasn't the sassiest, I
No?
guess.
Like you look like you're the type that wouldn't take any crap from anybody. I'm using that crap word a lot today.
I don't know about that. I think my dad, you know how the girls always have the problems with their dads when they're coming into that 13 or 14-year-old stage.
Yeah.
My dad's beef with me was, why all that eyeshadow? Your mom never wore it.
Oh, you got one of those dads.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why
All
do you
right.
got to leave the house with all of that blue eyeshadow
All
on?
that crap on your face,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. Bonnie, did you know that 12% of us don't use prescriptions even after we've paid for them? Have you ever been guilty of that? You go to the store, go to the drugstore, get your medicine, you pay for it, and then it just sits on the counter.
Do you do that, Evan? I don't.
I've done that a couple of times.
Especially if you're getting a prescription for antibiotics,
Mhm.
you need those, and you're
Yep.
supposed to complete your prescription bottle for it to be effective.
I used a service called Teladoc again the other day. Second time I've used it.
How was that?
It was great. My pinky finger, I had a hangnail and I pulled it and it became infected.
Yeah.
And my doctor's office was closed. So I called Teladoc. I showed the doctor my finger on camera, and they're like, all right, I'll call in a prescription for tetracycline. And within 2 days, look at my finger. It's normal.
They can do that without seeing you in person.
They
actually?
sure can. They sure can.
That's just, and what is it like?
Teladoc.
Teladoc.com.
Teladoc. It's an app you put on your phone.
Oh wow.
And you're telling a doc what's wrong. Teladoc.
So then they send you a prescription that's signed by them through your
It's
through
all
email
done.
or
No,
something.
it's all done electronically.
Yeah.
I visited the doctor. I went to the doctor virtually. I had a video conference with this doctor who is a state board certified medical doctor in the state of Florida.
Mhm.
They looked at my finger, made a diagnosis, called into Walgreens, called in my prescription electronically, and within an hour it was ready and I was taking my medicine.
Nice. And are you going to complete your medicine?
I
with
sure
that?
am. I took it this morning.
Mhm.
Even though my finger's better, I'm going to finish it.
Good. 'Cause I think it's important. You know.
Bonnie, according to research, people who wrote to-do lists fall asleep 9 minutes faster than those who wrote about completed tasks. Has that ever happened to you before?
I don't know, but I'll be honest. When I go to bed at night,
Mhm.
what makes me fall asleep better is thinking about the completed tasks that I experienced throughout the day and
Okay.
things that I got done. And
Okay.
I think what makes me also sleep better at night is to actually get those things done throughout the day.
What makes me sleep better at night is when I say, "Hey Google, play ocean sounds."
Oh yeah.
And my wife's smart clock on the other side of the room will start playing sounds of the ocean.
Right.
And it's super relaxing. I've got the wife hooked on it now too.
That's why I don't know why our Alexa is still hanging out in our kitchen. I need it hanging out in the bedroom to play that soothing stuff.
You're asking for a third person to come in the bedroom with you guys? That's a little different.
Well, it's Alexa,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, but who wants Alexa in the bedroom?
She's everywhere.
Well, yeah, she can be everywhere, But you know, she's like,
she's been here, she's been there. Alexa's
maybe
done
I'll
it.
bring my Alexa in here one day and hook Alexa up and we'll just have fun with her.
Yeah, why not?
We'll have a conversation. We'll interview Alexa.
Yeah, we'll find out maybe we can find out those hidden things that like she can do that we weren't aware of.
Oh,
that
let me
she
see.
could
I
do.
can bring up Alexa on my phone.
Yeah, we just found out that we didn't even know this. We have Alexa all this time, and we can actually call a restaurant.
Hold on, let's see here.
Ask Alexa for
Hey,
the
Alexa, would you like to be on the radio with me?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Okay.
She doesn't have she's
she doesn't have an
unopinionated.
opinion. She's unopinionated.
But we weren't aware that
Hey,
we
Alexa, would you like to be a guest on my show?
I don't have an opinion on that.
no opinion yet.
Okay. Let me ask her one more question.
Okay.
Alexa, how are you feeling today?
I'm quite cheerful, probably because I've been thinking about my favorite animal.
Oh,
Alexa, what's your favorite animal?
Alexa, what's your favorite animal?
I don't have an opinion on that.
All right.
Well,
Well,
she
Alexa,
teased us. She teased us with what she was thinking
did.
of an animal. I mean, what a big tease. Now I don't know how I can even make it through the day. And
I'm not going to say what I was going to say because you were leading me to say something because you called her a tease. So I'm not going to go there. Okay. I'm going to try to keep this show PG rated. But 62% of women would not date a guy who had a ponytail. How about that one, Bonnie?
Really?
Yeah.
What do they have against guys with ponytails?
I don't
now?
know.
I mean, there was Pony Boy Curtis in The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with anything because he didn't even wear a ponytail.
Here's a very
Okay.
interesting stat. Did you know that Disney World buys more fireworks than any other company in North America? And also, did you know that the number one rule in most people's houses is no shoes on the furniture?
Oh, okay.
That's pretty standard.
That's yeah.
Did you know that 68% of moms get stressed watching a kid play sports? Are you one of those that would do that?
I get a little bit stressed. Like my stepdaughter is in dance,
Mm-hmm.
so like when I go to see her dance performances, I get a little bit excited. Like I'm afraid she's gonna trip or fall down or move out a step, not in sync with the other girls or some sort of thing.
All right.
But she always does all right.
Did you know that 1 in every 3 wives wish their husbands would hold their hand more often? And did you also know that men are 75% more likely to get angry while watching sports than women?
Imagine
That's
that.
an interesting stat, Bonnie.
Yeah, I guess one would believe it because, I mean, knowing my brothers and, the guys that I know when it comes to the NFL
Mm-hmm.
and when their team is losing, wow, that can be like a loud, wild scene.
Yeah. 6:45 on the Get Up and Go show, and it's time for news brought to you by the all-new Maserati Stewart, where you can spring into savings with the rich heritage of Italian motoring that is now within reach. At the all-new Maserati Stewart, get a new 2019 Levante for $799 a month or 0% financing. Maserati Stewart, located 3980 Southeast Federal Highway in Stewart, or online at MaseratiStewart.com. Luxury Legacy Maserati Stewart, MSRP $79,000, all-wheel drive, 39-month lease, $8,999 due at signing, plus tax, title, license, no security deposit, with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer ends April the 2nd. Time to go to the news desk. Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. There are now 432 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Florida. More than half of the cases are in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. The Department of Health says the statewide death toll has climbed to 9. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis says testing in Florida is ramping up.
The federal government has delivered a full testing center supplies to Jacksonville, and they've done partial for Miami-Dade and Orlando.
DeSantis says the Broward County mobile testing site will be run by the National Guard and will allow for test results to be returned more quickly. Florida lawmakers have adopted a new budget, but uncertainty remains.
It's a $93 billion deal.
I'm not going to shake your hand.
Governor Ron DeSantis joking with the Speaker of the House. But the governor says this coronavirus outbreak is a serious threat to Florida's economy.
looking at a different economic picture. I think it's one we can recover from. Don't get me wrong, but that is going to be an issue that we'll have to address in future sessions.
The budget includes $500 million for increased teacher pay, raises for correctional workers and state employees, and more money to combat blue-green algae. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Distilleries around the state are now working with alcohol in a different way. They're making hand sanitizer and distributing it free of charge to first responders. They plan to keep offering it as long as their supplies last. Well, this could be your last day to enjoy the surf in Pinellas County. The county announced yesterday it's closing all public beaches effective tomorrow until April 6th. Clearwater Beach had originally planned to close Monday, but it will also close after today. A wanted cow is no longer on the lam in South Florida. Pembroke Pines police say they found the animal this week after several months of searching. They claimed it was eluding police with surprising speed and amazing fence jumping skills. Police say the cow was endangering itself by walking into roadways. Well, 3 days after Florida education officials decided to close all public schools through April 15, the Martin County School District has laid out a new plan to give students meals and distribute laptops for virtual learning. The Martin County School District will move to a virtual learning plan on March 30. Right now, students are on spring break. Next week, teachers and students will begin preparing for virtual learning. The following week, virtual learning will begin. The teachers will begin to gather supplies next week, and if a student needs a laptop, they will be able to begin picking up a laptop from their school this coming Wednesday. And this Monday, breakfast and lunch will be available for students to pick up at 4 area schools. They are Warfield Elementary School, Port Salerno, J.D. Parker, and Home Sound Elementary School. The Treasure Coast Food Bank received a big donation from Walt Disney World Orlando on Thursday. A tractor trailer loaded with food arrived after Disney closed operations to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. The food bank was grateful to receive fresh produce, bread, and meat. The food will help families in need in Indian River, St. Lucie, Martin, and in Okeechobee counties. And in sports, New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton has tested positive for the coronavirus. He's the first confirmed case in the NFL. Major League Baseball is not going to start the 2020 season until at least mid-May. And once again tonight, hear the best of the last 40 years of the NCAA if you're missing that action during this March Madness. What should be. Tonight, it's going to be the huge 2018 upset with UMBC in Virginia. Starts at 8. And tune in to AM 1450 WSTU or AM 1590 WPSL. It's our news time is 6:50. Weather and traffic together next.
6:51 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, on our roadways in Stewart right now, everything is looking good. Port St. Lucie, we're not finding any accidents there. And even to the north of Port St. Lucie, no accidents up ahead that way. Everything is fine. There's your latest look at traffic. It's nice, too. 73 in Palm City and 70 degrees in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy first full day of spring this morning along the Treasure Coast. Temperatures starting off in the low 70s with 60s inland. Other than some patchy fog, your morning drive should be quiet with mostly clear skies overhead. This afternoon, highs reaching the low to mid 80s under partly sunny skies and a slim chance for a quick moving shower. Winds will stay breezy out of the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 69 degrees. A warm and sunny weekend on tap. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s, highs reaching the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny skies with low rain chances and light southeast winds. Great boating conditions, but a high risk for rip currents across area beaches.
Mornings are better with the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now, back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
6:58 on the Get Up and Go Show. And I was mentioning earlier, we were talking about it coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Some very dear friends of mine, Dan and Rebecca Bird, are going to be in studio with a couple of the cast members from Speak Life, the musical. It's All Access Productions. It's a production company that's putting on a musical in regards to bullying, and it's something it's almost as bad as the coronavirus. It's a worldwide epidemic as far as I'm concerned, Bonnie.
Yeah, it can get like really bad in our schools nowadays. And, definitely if, I'm sending kids off to school, I would, and it kind of starts at home too, Evan.
Yeah.
Sending your kids off to school, you want to tell them really to treat other kids and, other teachers and such with respect.
Yeah, and that's why, Ellen DeGeneres always at the end of every show, she always says, be kind to one another. And it's something that people need to practice more and more and more and more consistently here in this crazy, crazy world that we live in. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next, and then we'll have more of the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie.
the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
You are my fave, but are you contagious? The social distance rules say go 6 feet that way. You know I love you, but I just can't touch you. We can hug again, maybe someday, but go 6 feet that way. Tell me why, 'cause we can stop the spreading. Tell me why, healthcare is taxed already. That is why we all should be okay to go 6 feet that way.
I just thought that I'd play that because I just found it, I found a lot of these parody songs last night.
Mhm.
I was sitting around my home office in my studio, and I found all these different parody songs pertaining to all this craziness that's going on. And you know what? If it can make me laugh at my desk at home, I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to play it. And I saw you smiling over there also.
I'm smiling, Evan, because the go 6 feet that way is so relatable to many people.
Right?
Do you have that certain someone that is maybe just a friend, or maybe a certain someone at work that is just kind of like gets in your face a little bit and is always a little bit in your space? Too close for that good feeling. And then
I actually do know one person that I can relate to that does like to get kind of right up in your face when you talk to them. I'm not going to mention a name or anybody like that, but I do know one person. But mostly all my friends are, we keep a distance. Like you and I right now, we have a 4 or 5 foot barrier between you and I right now.
Yeah, to me that's a comfortable spread.
I'm in a comfortable level with you right now. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable right
Are you
here.
comfortable on your side of the street?
Oh yeah.
Is it raining over there?
No.
Okay.
It's sunny.
Yeah, and it's bright-eyed over here. We're sunny and we're bright, and it's happy to be here. Yeah, speaking of happiness, it's a happy Friday, it's a happy day. You brought a good aura in yesterday. Today you've got your blue on, which is nice solid warm color.
Can you believe this shirt almost made it to Goodwill?
Really?
It was in my bag.
I would have had to have bought it for like $3.
It was in my bag, packed in my car, ready to go, Evan.
And you took it out and put it on.
For some reason, I brought it back in and decided to put it back in the laundry and run it through another laundry load. So it's hanging in my closet this morning.
So it's no longer a victim of Goodwill.
It's not.
Okay.
I think I might have lost a few pounds in the last week or so.
It's been reincarnated.
It's fitting better.
Okay.
It's not ready for that Goodwill action
well,
yet.
It's time for birthdays and anniversaries back in the day. And Bonnie, do you have anybody you want to wish a happy birthday to?
Our friend Deb of Franken Friends.
Okay.
Don't know exactly her birthday date. We do know that it's coming up in April.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We've wished Rachel enough happy birthdays. So now it's going to be wish Deb a happy birthday every day.
I think it should be.
Okay. So I think with Franken Friends in Pittsburgh, Deb, every day going forward until she tells us when her birthday is, we're going to wish her a happy birthday.
Yeah, she put.
Do you know the name of her store or her salon?
The Beachcomber.
It's okay. You need to find me the phone number, and we're going to call her in the 8 o'clock hour on Monday.
Okay.
Not today, because we have so much going on today in the 8 o'clock hour. But make sure and get me the number for Monday.
Yeah.
And we're going to call her Monday and wish her a happy birthday live on the radio.
It's a good thing because she brightens up the studio for us each and every holiday. And she's just a really light spirit around here.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
we have to do something in return for Deb.
Let's jump right into the birthdays, anniversaries back in the day. Ruby Rose, 34. That's CW's Batwoman. But you also know her as Stella on Orange is the New Black.
Stella on Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember if she's which prisoner on the show she is.
Don't know because I don't watch that show.
I mean, I watched the first 3 or 4 first episodes, and then I just was one of those that kind of fell off the wagon with
Okay,
that one. But
all
I know
right.
it is popular.
Did you get back on the wagon?
I didn't, not with Orange,
Okay,
not with that.
all right.
With that one, I didn't recover from it.
All
So
right. Christy Carlson Romano, 36 years old. That's the Kim Possible star.
I think she's the voice of Kim Possible.
I do believe so. You're right.
And she's also Ren Stevens and Even Stevens on Disney.
Yeah.
And to me, she sort of looks like Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
I think she has Ben Affleck's ex-wife.
Bianca Lawson, 41. That's Darla on Owns Queen Sugar. Freema Agyeman is 41. That's Dr. Sharp on the new Amsterdam. Cedric Yarborough is 47. That's Kenneth on Speechless. Michael Rappaport, 50 years old today. That's Homeland Security's Don Self on Prison Break. How about Kathy Ireland? She's 57.
I know. Isn't that something?
Mhm.
Oh, you know what made me feel kind of old the other day? We watched the Jumanji,
Okay.
and where the young Jonas boy is
Mhm.
in that movie.
Okay.
But you have to watch it. It's really a good one.
Okay.
And he's kind of like stuck in the mid 90s, I
Okay.
guess.
All right.
And he has to come out of there, but he's still stuck in like 1994. And they're going, like they're asking him name a famous supermodel lady, and he references Cindy Crawford.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, well, she's 50 right now.
Okay. All right.
Still beautiful, but it just made me
Spike
feel
Lee.
kind of old.
Spike Lee celebrating a birthday, 63 years old for Mr. Spike, the Spikester. Bobby Orr, the hockey legend, 72.
Wow.
Pat Riley, 75, the Miami Heat president. Now, Pat Riley, that guy's got the most perfect hair I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He never has a hair out of place.
He must use that Brill cream.
How about Barney Miller, Hal Linden, 89 years old?
Wow, I didn't know Barney Miller was even still alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Carl Reiner is 98, the comic genius, and the Meathead's real dad, 98 years old.
And the producer, director of Oh God.
Yes.
We just watched that too the other day. We're picking out all these movies.
Today is National Proposal Day. So you know what that means. Since it's National Proposal Day, we're going to see people all over the world getting down on one knee and asking people to marry them.
You know, I think it's a good day for it too, Evan, because
With all the crap going on in the world,
if
I
you-
agree.
And your wedding, if you propose, your wedding is probably out, a year or two later?
Yeah, we
Is that
did
how it's
ours.
still
Ours, we
going?
took like 15 months to plan ours.
Yeah, so by that time, everything should be refreshed and we'll be out of this viral nonsense.
And the other thing, it's National Kick Butts Day. How about that one?
Oh, like kicking the cigarette butts?
I guess so.
I would gather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The folks from Quit Doc would love that one.
Definitely so. Bonnie, there's something that's on my mind I wanted to discuss that I need to vent. Okay. Do you mind if I vent for a little bit? Are you okay with that?
I'm okay because maybe, who knows, maybe I can relate to it.
Okay. I'm not going to say what store I went to, but I went to a store the other day to pick up a few things. Now, I'm waiting in the checkout line and I dropped a $20 bill. Of course, that's me trying to hold everything, and I dropped a $20 bill. Now, the lady in front of me picked it up. Okay, and you would think that she would hand it back. And, I thanked her when she picked it up and I held my hand out. And you know what she said? The things found on earth are kept by the collector. And the lady just walked away.
She walked away with your
She
20?
walked away with my 20. And I was like, oh, heck no. Okay.
Whoa.
I looked at the person behind me standing in line and they couldn't believe it either. It's just like, this can't be real life right now that's happening with all the craziness in the world. So I took a deep breath. I turned back towards the lady, or whatever you want to call her. And I approached her and I said, do I look like I'm in the mood? Let's not play games. Go ahead and give me back my $20. She had the audacity to ignore me completely and tried to walk away from me. So, of course, I left everything right there and followed her out to the parking lot as I'm calling the cops. Okay, because somebody's going to have to go to jail. It's not going to be me, and it's going to be her. She stole my $20. Okay, now she was almost running at this point to get away from me, which was the first sign of real intelligence that this lady was showing. Okay, Bonnie? Now, when she got to her car, she put her bags on the ground, trying to quickly get her trunk open. Okay?
Mhm.
I was fuming at this point. I was so ticked off. Now, I decided that her finders keepers rule just presented the perfect opportunity for a great teachable moment. So I went into track star mode and I ran full speed, grabbed her grocery bags, and headed to my car. And I was yelling, "The things found on earth are kept by the collector."
Did this really happen, Evan?
Let me finish. I hopped in my truck, ignoring her attempt to get my attention. Yeah, I was out of line, I'll admit it, but she was too, and boy, was I ticked. But I had a sense of satisfaction at the same time. Now, I got all the way home with the bags. I open the bags, and I find 3 packs of ribeye steaks, 3 pounds of wild-caught salmon, 2 pounds of potatoes, everything to make a bomb salad, and a bottle of wine to boot.
That sounds like my grocery bag.
Right? And I can't help think to myself, wow, not bad for $20.
Yeah.
Right?
You
I
made
came out
good.
ahead.
Those steaks alone are $24 a
Right?
piece for the
Okay.
ribeye.
Now, in all seriousness, this was a joke. Okay, but I hope it put a little humor and a little smile on
Yeah.
everybody's face. I really do.
It did.
It was meant to.
Because you know what? Everybody listening really didn't want this lady to get away with it.
Right. I kind of sucked them all in.
Yeah.
I brought everybody all in.
From the get-go, they were siding with you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You dropped the 20
I
on the
dropped
floor.
the 20 and look at everything that I supposedly got. I got the ribeye, I got the salmon, I got the potatoes, I got enough stuff to make a bomb salad, I got a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, $20, you can't buy that stuff at this store
That's
for
right.
$20.
And what was her excuse in the initial excuse when you dropped that
The
20 and she
initial
took
excuse,
it?
let me find it.
That was
here.
pretty profound.
Let me see here.
It was something in the sort of finders keepers, losers weepers.
Right. Exactly.
But in her words,
all the things found on earth are kept by the collector. The things found on earth are kept by the collector. So if you find something on the ground, it's yours. The things found on earth.
I've heard those stories recently where people that are down and out, like homeless people, even finding in the score of 20 grand here or there, and the ones that are just honest enough to turn that money in.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So 7:20 right now. It's news time, all brought to you by Discovery Senior Living. Bonnie is hanging out at the news desk with the latest headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you now. There are now 432 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Florida. More than half of the cases are in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. The Department of Health says the statewide death toll has climbed to 9. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis says testing in Florida is ramping up.
The federal government has delivered a full testing center supplies to Jacksonville, and they've done partial for Miami-Dade and Orlando.
Florida lawmakers have adopted a new budget, but uncertainty remains.
It's a $93 billion deal.
I'm not going to shake your hand.
Governor Ron DeSantis joking with the Speaker of the House. But the governor says this coronavirus outbreak is a serious threat to Florida's economy.
Looking at a different economic picture. I think it's one we can recover from. Don't get me wrong, but that is going to be an issue that we'll have to address in future sessions.
The budget includes $500 million for increased teacher pay, raises for correctional workers and state employees, and more money to combat blue-green algae. I'm Rory O'Neill.
And that $93 billion spending plan sets aside $500 million for increased teacher pay. The budget now goes to the governor, who could use his veto pen to trim some of the spending. Distilleries around the state are now working with their supplies last. 3 days after Florida education officials decided to close all public schools through April 15, the Martin County School District has laid out a new plan to give students meals and distribute laptops for virtual learning. The Martin County School District will move to a virtual learning plan on March 30. Right now, students are on spring break, and next week, teachers and students will begin preparing for virtual learning. Now, if a student needs a laptop, they will be able to begin picking up a laptop from their school this coming Wednesday. On Monday, breakfast and lunch will be available for students to pick up at 4 area schools: Warfield Elementary, Port Salerno, J.D. Parker Elementary, also including Home Sound Elementary School. Kohl's announced Thursday that the company will temporarily close its stores nationwide starting March 19 at 7 p.m. And as a result of the escalating COVID-19 pandemic, customers will still be able to shop through Kohls.com and have their items delivered directly to their homes. The store will provide updates and news on the store openings at corporatekohls.com. Well, the first case of the coronavirus is confirmed in the NFL. New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton has tested positive for the coronavirus. And that rapid spread of coronavirus causing cancellations, postponements of sporting events, and affecting sports around the globe. Now the list of players in the NBA who have tested positive continues to grow. It looks like the Lakers and Celtics have both confirmed players on their rosters have tested positive, with Boston guard Marcus Smart confirming his diagnosis on social media. Major League Baseball, that will not start till the 2020 season until at least mid-May. So baseball fans waiting for that. And once again, listen tonight for the best of last 40 years NCAA tournaments. It's going to be the huge 2018 upset with UMBC and Virginia. That begins at 8 right here on 1450 WSTU. Listen in to our sister station, 1590 WPSL. And news time is 7:24. Weather and traffic together next.
$7:26 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Friday morning and nice and clear on the roadways. We don't have any accidents. This includes US 1. I-95, our turnpike is looking good right here. There's your latest look at traffic. Stuart, this morning, 73. Here's our weekend forecast at WPTV.
Happy first full day of spring this morning along the Treasure Coast. Temperatures starting off in the low 70s with 60s inland. Other than some patchy fog, your morning drive should be quiet with mostly clear skies overhead. This afternoon, highs reaching the low to mid 80s under partly sunny skies and a slim chance for a quick moving shower. Winds will stay breezy out of the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 69 degrees. A warm and sunny weekend on tap. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s, highs reaching the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny skies with low rain chances and light southeast winds. Great boating conditions, but a high risk for rip currents across area beaches.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
We can still be friends. So if you get coronavirus, our friendship might just end. If you don't catch this virus, you will get to live. But try and take it easy, you're probably not at risk. Got a message on WhatsApp? Yo, it's probably not real. Please use some common sense. It's not the end of the world. Now don't go crazy and don't get too stressed. Cause anything can kill you if you give it a chance. Yo, it's coming from Wuhan that you really don't want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really not die from coronavirus. If we survive this virus, then we can still be friends. Still be eaten by a lion. Our friendships might just end. If you don't catch this virus, you will get to live. But try and take it easy and keep yourself.
7:30 right now, the Get Up and Go show. And Bonnie, another one of those parody songs. We're just trying to put smiles on people's faces this morning, get rid of all this negativity, and hopefully put some smiles.
Yeah, hopefully
Right?
you can, remain positive and just kind of remain positive longer, and maybe that'll keep you feeling healthy.
Got to.
That negativity just kind of wears you down through time.
Got to put smiles on people's faces. And I know that something else is going to put smiles on people's faces. Bonnie, you know what time it is, don't
It's
you?
stupid news
That's
time.
right. We scour the globe for the most ridiculous things out there. My wife says good morning, by the way. She texted me.
Oh, good
She
morning.
said, tell Bonnie good morning.
Good morning,
So,
Rachel.
Good morning, Bonnie.
Thank
So,
you.
here's an interesting story. It's about a porn star. What a way to start off stupid news. You can tell where these segments are going. Some scientists looking for a cure for the deadly coronavirus may start working a little harder. There's a Russian porn star called Lola Taylor, now isolated in Moscow, is offering to have sex with a scientist who finds a cure for the virus.
Wow, she's she or is it she or he?
It's
Of just
she.
trying
It.
to do anything for human mankind, I guess.
She announced on her Instagram the offer, adding she will probably get arrested if she leaves her apartment. One responder said this is how to get young scientists motivated to invent a vaccination. Okay.
Anything to get them motivated, I guess. Where is she from? Russia?
She's in Russia.
She's a Russian porn star.
Yeah.
Well, those
She offered to have sex with a scientist
those
who
ladies
finds
are
a cure.
usually beautiful, so that should get all the young scientists motivated, I guess.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah.
There's drunk and then there's amnesia drunk. The police in Gallup, New Mexico were investigating burglary last week when a 24-year-old guy named Sage Cummins walked up to the scene and admitted he'd stolen 2 TVs from a house. He said he was, quote, very intoxicated and he had no memory of doing it. But when he woke up the next morning, he noticed there were 2 TVs in his bedroom.
Well, he had some good TV shows to watch then.
Yes. Not 1, but 2.
and
And they were both playing.
couldn't remember how he got the TVs, but
Yeah.
how inspiring. At least he can be entertained now through it all.
He was arrested for he was arrested for being in possession of stolen property.
And he couldn't remember doing it.
Couldn't remember doing it.
Talk about being annihilated.
And the
Holy man.
the TVs were set up in his bedroom. They were hooked up and they were playing.
Yeah.
How's that one?
So I don't know.
Couldn't remember.
Maybe some kind of magical genie out of the wine bottle came out and set it up for them
Yeah.
too. For him
Yeah.
too.
There's a Florida man who's back in jail for impersonating a law enforcement officer just days after he was arrested for the exact same thing, the sheriff said. Leroy Stottlemyre, who's 60, was arrested on March 11th after investigators got a tip from a toll bridge attendant who showed them video of the man flashing a law enforcement badge twice on March 11th to avoid paying a $2 toll. A $2 toll.
Was just that badge show like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Or something? I think even if you're in law enforcement, you still have to pay it.
They sure do. My daughter does. On duty officers allowed to cross free of charge.
Oh, okay.
On duty. This guy was off duty. A toll booth attendant told investigators that Stottlemyre flashed the silver badge at him, and he in turn showed the man an article about his arrest for impersonating an officer. Well, you know what happened? He got arrested again.
Yeah.
Terrible. Let's go to Brooklyn, where a man angered over a neighbor's social distancing practices rammed the guy with his car outside of a Brooklyn synagogue. The 31-year-old victim was arguing with a man outside the house of worship on Avenue L near East 9th Street in Midwood around 8:30 at night on Wednesday, with his rival telling him that the congregation should not be meeting amid the growing spread of the coronavirus. You're killing everybody with this virus, the suspect said.
Oh, wow.
The man then got into his Honda Odyssey minivan and he hit the 31-year-old guy.
Oh, man.
Purposely.
Some people are getting really upset about that one.
Yeah.
Like if you're still meeting in these social gatherings and
Right.
Well, I think at a synagogue you're not required to meet there.
No.
But some workplaces, they're still gathering and
Exactly.
some are not allowing you to stay home, put it that way.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and then the people that have to be there and could get the spread of this are getting kind of upset about this.
This next story takes the cake, Bonnie. A person in an inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex costume in Spain was caught on camera trying to elude authorities and lockdown restrictions. The guy's in a Tyrannosaurus Rex costume.
It sounds like he already is locked down. I wouldn't want to be in one of those costumes.
Cops released a humorous video because cops stopped the dino dummy, telling him to get home, and the creature just waddles off.
Mm-hmm.
And he does so. The music from Jurassic Park is playing in the background on the cop car. Now, in Spain, only brief dog walks are allowed, but dinosaur suits? Not so much. As of Wednesday, Spain had 11,000 cases with more than 500 deaths.
You might not catch the coronavirus in one of those dinosaur suits. Be
Yeah.
like the boy in the bubble.
Okay, this is interesting. This is out of Sin City, Las Vegas, where the business of America is business. And one Las Vegas strip club is proving that point. While Sin City is shuttered down, Little Darlings now offering drive-through strip shows, according to the Review Journal. Starting Saturday, patrons get a 10-minute strip show without leaving their cars for $100. They drive up to the front door, they pay the money, and they're entertained.
Hey, anything to keep the economy going, I guess, right?
Yeah. There's a guy that went under the needle for 24 hours to have a giant portrait of his fiance tattooed on his back. Now, men usually show off their affection to better halves by buying them flowers, complimenting them, or showering them with gifts.
Or maybe the simple name, her name on the back.
But
Or
one
arm.
Vietnamese guy decided to show off his love for his fiance in a rather unusual way by tattooing a large portrait of her on his back.
Oh, wow.
22-year-old Trung Van Lam, alleged with a name like Trung Van Lam, he allegedly spent nearly 24 hours having his girlfriend's portrait inked on his back, and 3 separate sessions, no less. The first one, which lasted 8 hours, was in November of last year. And then he went under the needle 2 more times, one for 6 hours and the other for 9 hours. The result, a permanent portrait of his 20-year-old girlfriend, Luong Ka Tran, a tattooed version of a photograph of her.
That's awesome. Well, Trum Van Lam should probably change his name to Truly in Love.
Yeah.
Because to go through that.
What's going to happen if they break up?
Wow.
Is he nuts?
I don't know, but every time he takes off his shirt, his new lover or friend will see that face tattooed to
Wow.
his back.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Now that love has to last forever. It truly does.
Wow.
I don't see them. I don't see how, or if they could break up. Could you imagine how expensive and how painful that would be to probably remove a tattoo like that?
Yeah, I can imagine. Want to say good morning to Robin Kripp Leinhardt. She's on our Facebook page. She just messaged us that her daughter Elizabeth and Rachel are going to be there this morning in studio with us. They're part of All Access Productions, Speak Life the Musical. Really excited about having those guys here in the 8 o'clock hour. Here's an interesting story from your hometown, Wisconsin.
Okay.
There's always stupid stuff coming out of Wisconsin.
What city is it from?
Hold on. I'm going to read the story.
Don't knock on Wisconsin.
No,
the whole
I
state
won't.
isn't screwed up, Evan.
I know that.
Maybe one their city might be, but
As a manager worked nearby to sanitize a section of a Wisconsin grocery store, a 53-year-old woman licked the handle of a freezer door in what she later told cops was a protest to the coronavirus. The odd act of defiance occurred Saturday afternoon in the freezer section of Festival Foods in Marshfield.
Oh, I've been to Marshfield.
That's a city in central Wisconsin.
Well, it's good that they have a great hospital there with great hospital staff.
Yeah, well, the store manager told police the lady proceeded to look at him and licked the door handle on the freezer door. The manager immediately sanitized the licked door handle, called 911, and when the cops questioned Lindhorst, she stated she licked the door handle in protest to what's going on.
Do you think that people are doing these stupid things to, just be seen or something?
I don't know.
Get famous because
I don't know.
everything nowadays goes viral?
That's like the chick licking the toilet seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing stupid stuff.
The 22-year-old kid on TikTok licking a toilet seat in airplanes and trying to get others to do it.
Yeah, or how about the other kid that was sent to jail for licking the ice cream in the freezer.
Yeah.
They just wanted notoriety and fame. But that's just downright disgusting.
That's, that the bottom line is that's what I think people are just really looking for. It's getting to the point
They
where
want attention.
Are people getting, or some notoriety in some way, even if it's a deformed way. I don't, I need a chill pill. I don't even know where this world is going.
Yeah, I have one more story for
Yes.
you. It has to do with credit cards. And there's got to be a better way to try to hide the evidence than this. The cops in Orlando, Florida, just up the road from us, got a call on Monday about a guy trying to buy jewelry and gift cards with a stolen credit card. Now, the guy was a 27-year-old named Jose Herrera. And when he saw the cops coming, he tried to hide the evidence by eating the credit card.
Oh,
eating the credit card, Bonnie. I'm not sure
Could you imagine?
that's even possible. And it wasn't. He
I
wasn't
don't think it
able.
is.
No, he wasn't able to swallow it before the cops stopped him. And at this point, he gave up on trying to hide the evidence because when they got to him, they found a baggie of white powder in his pocket. He immediately said, quote, "I'm not going to lie, it's cocaine." He also had 13 other stolen credit cards and debit cards on him, and he was hit with several charges, Bonnie.
Well, it's a good thing that he caught him, for sure. And if the police didn't catch him by him eating that credit card, that would have.
That is absolutely
Choking
crazy.
on a
Have you seen any
credit
stupid
card.
news anywhere lately?
I haven't seen anything really stupid. I did see. I saw something viral where it's kind of made news where the first known case of an animal was a dog that died of the coronavirus in Hong Kong.
Really?
And so, but not to be, I don't want to freak anybody out.
No.
You've really got to catch it human to human, but somehow I think the virus got in the dog's dandruff or the dog's fur and was breathing it in. And I did see a veterinary hospital down south where I think you have to, if you bring your dog or kitty cat in, you can't come all the way into the veterinarian with it. You have to hand it to a worker at the door who takes the dog or kitty with gloves inside for you to help that get the dog or kitty on the scale and start weighing and and getting the process of helping.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is some crazy cray stuff. 7:45 the time. It's time now for news brought to you by Alfa Romeo Stewart, where the rich heritage of Italian motoring is now within reach during the spring acceleration event at the all-new Alfa Romeo Stewart. Get a new 2020 Alfa Romeo Giulia for just $379 a month. Alfa Romeo Stewart, located 3980 Southeast Federal Highway in Stewart, or online at alfaromeostewart.com. Luxury Legacy Alfa Romeo Stewart. MSRP $40,640, rear-wheel drive, 36-month lease, total due at signing, $5,179, no security deposit plus tax, title, and license with approved credit. Offer ends March 31st, 2020. Time to head over to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the latest headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. And there are now 432 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Florida. More than half of the cases are in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. The Department of Health says the statewide death toll has climbed to 9. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis says testing in Florida is ramping up.
The federal government has delivered a full testing center supplies to Jacksonville, and they've done partial for Miami-Dade and Orlando.
Florida lawmakers have adopted a new budget, but uncertainty remains.
It's a $93 billion deal.
I'm not going to shake your hand.
Governor Ron DeSantis joking with the Speaker of the House. But the governor says this coronavirus outbreak is a serious threat to Florida's economy.
Looking at a different economic picture. I think it's one we can recover from. Don't get me wrong, but that is going to be an issue that we'll have to address in future sessions.
The budget includes $500 million for increased teacher pay, raises for correctional workers and state employees, and more money to combat blue-green algae. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Distilleries around the state are now working with alcohol in a different way. They're making hand sanitizer and distributing it free of charge to first responders. They plan to keep offering it as long as their supplies last. This could be your last day to enjoy the surf in Pinellas County. The county announced yesterday it's closing all public beaches, effective tomorrow until April 6th. Clearwater Beach had originally planned to close Monday, but it will also close after today. The state of New York is leading the country in the amount of confirmed coronavirus cases, and it has reported the second largest amount of deaths behind Washington state. As of Thursday, New York had confirmed a total of 4,152 cases of COVID-19, the illness caused by the virus. At least 34 deaths from the virus have been reported in the state of New York, according to a tally by Johns Hopkins University. The number of cases in the state has grown steadily over the past few days as officials ramp up testing with the help of drive-through testing centers. 3 days after Florida education officials decided to close all public schools through April 15, the Martin County School District has laid out a new plan to give students meals and distribute laptops for virtual learning. Now, if a student needs a laptop, they will be able to begin picking up a laptop from their school this coming Wednesday. And on Monday, breakfast and lunches will be available for students to pick up at 4 area schools. And they include Warfield Elementary School, Port Salerno, the J.D. Parker Elementary, and Home Sound Elementary School. The food can be picked up between 9:30 and noon, and Superintendent Lori Gaylord is also hopeful there will still be opportunities to celebrate the success of high school seniors graduating, but it still is too soon, she says, to know what kind of impact there might be on graduation ceremonies at this point. And that rapid spread of coronavirus is causing the cancellations and postponements of sporting events and affecting sports around the globe. We know that Major League Baseball will not start the 2020 season until at least mid-May. And now the list of players in the NBA who have tested positive continuing to grow as the Lakers and Celtics have both confirmed players on their rosters have tested positive for COVID-19, with Boston guard Marcus Smart confirming his diagnosis on social media. And the first confirmed case did come out of the NFL now. A New Orleans Saints coach, Sean Payton, has tested positive for the coronavirus. News time is 7:49. Weather and traffic together will be next.
$7:51 the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, if you have to get there by 8:30 this morning, you should arrive on time. No accidents. We're not seeing any kind of slowdowns right now through our Treasure Coast. Drive safely. There's your latest look at traffic. It is 74 in Stewart. In Port St. Lucie, 72 degrees. Here's our weekend outlook at WPTV.
Happy first full day of spring this morning along the Treasure Coast. Temperatures starting off in the low 70s with 60s inland. Other than some patchy fog, your morning drive should be quiet with mostly clear skies overhead. This afternoon, highs reaching the low to mid 80s under partly sunny skies and a slim chance for a quick moving shower. Winds will stay breezy out of the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 69 degrees. A warm and sunny weekend on tap. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s, highs reaching the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny skies with low rain chances and light southeast winds. Great boating conditions, but a high risk for rip currents across area beaches.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give them a call at any time, 772-220-WSTU. That's 772-220-9788. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go Show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Mama, I'm on the plane, sitting next to Chinaman. He's breathing deep like he'll be dead. Mama, flight has just begun, but now it's going hard and I'm afraid. Mama, I sometimes wish I'd never been visiting Wuhan. Going on, and nothing really matters.
Another one of those parody songs. I got a whole bunch of them.
That song makes me want to quarantine right there.
Does it really?
Yeah.
The guy coughing on the airplane.
It's a dark song anyway. You know, it's a classic, but I always thought that was just such a dark, dark song. And that made it feel even more darker, like I want to be more secluded now.
All right. Do you mind if I make a phone call real quick on the air? Is that okay with you?
No, who you calling?
Right. Hold on.
Thanks for calling the Social Distancing Helpline. To order booze because your kids are driving you crazy and mommy needs a little helper, press 1. If you're going through NBA, NHL, or March Madness withdrawal, press 2. To find out how to clean your bottom without using toilet paper, press 3. For all other problems, go read a book, start a new hobby, or figure it out like the rest of us. And please keep away from me. Did you wash your hands again? Thanks for calling the Social Distancing Helpline. Goodbye.
I always like to call there and see if the message changes. I'm going to try to call that line every single day.
Do all of that and watch 24 hours of Netflix.
Oh
to
boy.
just keep you smiling.
Man, let me tell you, it's just California's on lockdown. That's
I know.
crazy.
Can you imagine that?
That's
like,
crazy.
Where you almost like you're made to stay home.
I don't know.
I can't even fathom. I'm glad that we're going to be able to come here at least if worst comes to worst.
This is our out.
We have
this
our
studio right here.
media
this is,
passes.
Yeah, this is our out, so we can always be here.
We keep everything sanitized and clean in the studio.
Yeah,
so,
we do.
We should arrive.
We have our Lysol wipes. We wipe everything down after we leave.
We're looking out for our fellow man.
Yeah,
if I should get sick, I will stay home. If you get sick, will you stay home?
I will. We have to step back for a moment. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. It's coming up on 8 a.m. and we're going to talk anti-bullying coming up in the 8 o'clock hour with Dan and Rebecca. Don't go anywhere.
On the air, on covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
8:07 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie and a whole lot of people in studio. And we have just completely social distancing thing out the window this morning. These people I know, they're like family to me. And I talk about this all the time during the week when we're on the air about, anti-bullying. And the name of the company, it's called All Access Productions. They have an awesome, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I think it's a 15 in my humble opinion. Speak Life the Musical. The founders of the company, Dan and Rebecca Bird, are joining us along with one of the cast members. We have 3 of them in studio. The first cast member is called The New Girl. Her name is Rachel. But first, I want to welcome in Dan and Rebecca. Good morning, guys. Let me turn your mics on. There we go. That would help.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good in the midst of all of this.
I know, right? You
Can't
guys
complain.
You guys faring okay or what?
We are. We are.
All right. Ignore. Don't please. I'm not being disrespectful.
No.
Because I'm trying to do like 9 things at once here. But let's just dive right into things. You guys know how passionate I am about the whole anti-bullying thing because of my son is in the play. We're going to talk to him a little bit later on. But how did this all come to fruition? How did this? I know this started up north, and then you guys migrated back down here. Dan, I'll let you go first. And in like a minute or two, tell us how this all came to fruition and how it got down here to Florida.
Wow. In a minute or two.
Yeah.
Wow. So you want the nutshell?
Because I know how long you can talk. That's why I said that.
You know him well.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
Wow. It all started, I would say, back in 2001. Rebecca and I were out on Long Island, and we went to a meeting of like a bunch of different people that worked in youth development. And there was about 50 of us in the room, and the guy that was running the meeting played an audio clip from an author named Frank Peretti. He had written a bunch of science fiction books, and he wrote one nonfiction book about his life, and it was about his story growing up. And we listened to an audio clip that was maybe 15 minutes long about it was him talking about this book and talking about his life growing up. And at the end of it, when we looked around, everybody was emotional in some way. Some people were crying, and some people were just kind of sitting there stunned. But you could tell that it had impacted everybody. And these were people that were, from 18 years old to their 50s and 60s, but everybody had been impacted by it. And so Rebecca and I was exceptionally moved because of my own story of bullying growing up. And so, we went up to the person that was running it and we said, hey, we can't just leave. Like, it's clear that this impacted people. And he looked at us and said, well, you guys are the artists, so go do something about it. So,
and the play was born.
It was born,
hatched out of an eggshell, and lo and behold, Speak Life the Musical comes to fruition. And then Rebecca, you guys relocated down here, right?
Yes, we did. We were up in New York. We were actually touring around all around the country. We were in over 300 schools, saw over 360,000 students between 2001 and 2015. And 2015, we headed down here. I was going through some health difficulties, and we just needed better weather. And Florida provided that. And we landed here on the Treasure Coast. And we can't say how grateful we are that we landed in this particular space, because we have just met the most amazing people, and we have developed a brand new cast and crew here, and we're working with exceptional young people that are from all up and down the Treasure Coast, from Port St. Lucie to Martin County, all the way down into Palm Beach County. And we have now worked in a couple of schools here locally, and we're so thankful to be here now.
What are the schools for our listeners? Tell us the schools that you guys have been in so far.
We have been to Martin County High School. We have been to Jensen Beach High School, and we've been to Anderson Middle School. And we were supposed to be in Hidden Oaks Middle School this coming Tuesday, but obviously due to all the shutdowns, that's been postponed. But we will surely let you know as soon as we have that date rebooked, because we do community performances in the evening and the whole community is invited out. We really encourage people. We know this is an issue that often starts at home, that kids are dealing with really from when they're very young, right in elementary school. And so we know this is something that if we're going to change, we need to change it as a community. And so that's why our community performances are so important and why we really encourage the community to come out and support.
Yeah, we're getting already comments on our Facebook page from Lisa Clark. Love, hugs, and blessings to Dan and Rebecca. And they say Speak Life, the musical, is transforming lives all over the place.
Wow.
I mean, this is just from social media.
Amazing
I mean,
to hear.
we haven't even been on the air 5 minutes and we're already getting comments about that. So this is amazing. I had the privilege of getting to know the both of you and the cast because my son is in the performance as well. I was bullied as a child. Dan, I remember your story. You told your story on stage. You were bullied.
Mhm.
My son was bullied. So we all can relate to that, right, Dan?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was really rough, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And I wouldn't say that I wasn't bullied in high school. I just think that because of the things that were said to me in 6th and 7th and 8th grade and the things that were done, it put me in a position of believing those things that were said about me. So even in 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th grade, even though it may not have been as intense, the damage was already done because it didn't matter what anybody said to me. I took it as I was stupid, or I was fat, or I was ugly, or I would never be in a relationship, or all the things that people said to me through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that made me feel less than a human being. I saw myself through high school as that short, fat kid in middle school, even though I was 6 foot tall and was playing volleyball and, on the team and got the leads in the plays and all of those things. It didn't change who I saw myself as because of what was said to me in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. It took a while for me to be able to break out of that.
I want to bring into the conversation one of the cast members is sitting here in studio with us, Rachel, otherwise known as the new girl. Rachel, thanks for coming in this morning and getting up early on your spring break, so to speak.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here. How did you get involved in Speak Life, the musical, and why are you so passionate about this whole organization?
Well, I got involved through my vocal coach. She reached out to me and showed me the company. And so she set me up with an audition and I met Rebecca and Dan. And I'm just so passionate about this because it just spreads such a great message to all the students that really need to hear it. And we've had great interactions with the students that we've met. And just everything's been so positive throughout this. And it gives me a lot of passion throughout the future of this company.
Rachel, how has this impacted your life personally as a teenager?
Well, it's impacted my life because we actually went to my high school and I got to see how my friends reacted to it. And we've been to Anderson Middle School and I got to see how the middle schools reacted. And it just showed me that, this message just really hits home to a lot of kids. And it impacted me because I actually can relate to my character in some way. I've had a lot of problems with, overthinking a lot, and my character really overthinks and is very self-cautious. And so it's really impacted me and showed me that I can be stronger. And I want to show all the kids that have also related to my character that they can be stronger and they will. There is always hope at the end of the tunnel, or light at the end of the tunnel.
Rebecca, I know that the one thing that is really a very special moment when you guys are in the schools is when you do 2 performances. Usually you guys do like 4 performances in the course of about 4 or 5 hours throughout the day. But the most impact, and I've noticed this because I witnessed it firsthand, is when the kids get together and they go into the lunchroom and they sit down with the students and the lives are impacted at that moment.
Yes. Absolutely. We work really hard in our schools to see every student in the same day because we think it's super important that we change what is acceptable amongst students. And to do that, we need to raise that standard. And by seeing every single student, it allows us to be able to raise what's acceptable and how they speak to each other and how they treat each other. And we see that really come to life when we get to sit down with them in the cafeterias. And our cast, we put on these cast t-shirts you see us in now if you're watching us live on Facebook, and they head into the cafeterias. And it's just awesome to see them spread out amongst the students. We sit down with them. We eat that lunch food. We don't bring any special food in. We sit and eat the cafeteria food with them. And we just have important conversations and give them the opportunity to tell their story, because I think that's the most important thing. When kids are really struggling and they're really suffering, it's so important that we listen. We need to get them talking, and then we need to be that ear to listen to their story. And that's the opportunity for that. Our cast gets to sit next to them and say, what moment in that show impacted you the most? And those kids begin to tell their stories and tell what they've walked through personally. And I think that's the really life-altering moment. As we listen and as we hear, we're then able to identify some of those kids that are really at risk. And those kids that are really at risk, we're then able to connect to all of the available resources that already exist within our schools. We have seen incredible things in Martin County in regards to the mental health professionals that are there and available to our students. But oftentimes students are too fearful to access that help that's available to them. And this just gives them a peer-to-peer opportunity to tell their story, to share what they're going through, and then we're able to connect them to the help that they need moving forward.
Dan, a lot of these kids too, they don't want to open up to their parents. They're afraid and it kind of embarrassed as well to talk to the parents. But when they get somebody else that's on their age level, Dan, that they can open up and talk to, they feel a big sigh of relief, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. A lot of times they won't talk to an administrator, they won't talk to a teacher, or they won't even talk to a counselor. And so when they have somebody, I think there's a good amount of distance between us. There's a safety in us because they recognize that from what they're seeing on stage, they can tell we know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. So they can immediately relate to someone on stage. And so when they come off, there's also a little bit of ironically enough, a social distance that they're not in this group. So there's a safety to be able to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. So for us, when we go into the cafeteria, it takes a little bit of, we try and give our cast a little bit of strategic questioning to be able to pull some things and find out who's interested in talking. And then once they are interested in talking, I think it is that distance of knowing I can say something to this person because they're not going to be here every single day. Mm-hmm. But what we also let them know is that if you do share something with us, you're sharing something with us because you're trusting us to do the right thing with the information, mm-hmm. not just to be silent. So we let them know ahead of time that if it's something that we think is a red flag that we've kind of trained our cast to know is a red flag issue, then we report that to the administration, or we'll actually walk with them and at times to the administration, to the counselors. We do have counselors that are set up when we do our shows in the auditorium or in the gym, wherever we're doing our show. And then we also know who the social workers are in the school, the mental health counselors as well. So we can kind of connect those two people together. Definitely, remembering names and pointing them out, not publicly, but and that's not breaking their confidence because they know that. I think at that point when they're coming to us and when they're saying something to us, they know I need to share this. I need to say something. And then we have that same responsibility in turn, and they know that.
Now, Rachel, as the new girl, you're basically the new girl in school, so to speak, correct? Mm-hmm. So you're like the, I guess the person that sticks out as the sore thumb. You're trying to get welcomed in and try to fit in with everybody, and it's just not working. That is your role in the musical, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you're going and you're meeting with these kids in the cafeterias afterwards, you talk to these kids firsthand. Did these conversations have to be very emotional at times where some of these kids literally break down in tears with you? Mm-hmm. And how do you handle that as a teenager yourself?
Well, if something like that ever happens, we usually just sit there and let them talk to us, because the last thing they need is for us to pressure them with questions.
Right.
Because they're showing us a lot of emotion and being very vulnerable. So the best thing for us to do is just sit there and listen to them. And if problems get worse and situation gets worse, then we bring it to Rebecca and Dan and have them talk to them. But it's just always good to listen to them and just always be a lending ear to them.
My very special guest in this first segment this morning, we're going to devote the entire hour to anti-bullying. This is just something by my choice that I choose to do because I believe in what they're doing. I'm a big advocate for what they're doing. We have to step back for just a few moments and take care of business. It's time for news right now. It's all brought to you by Discovery Senior Living. Bonnie is at the news desk with a couple of headlines this morning, and then we'll get back with Rebecca and Dan and another one of the cast members from Speak Life the Musical. Bonnie?
And we're looking at Martin County 3 days after Florida education officials decided to close all public schools through April 15. The Martin County School District has laid out a new plan to give students meals and distribute laptops for virtual learning. The Martin County School District will move to a virtual learning plan on March 30th. Now, if a student needs a laptop, they're going to be able to begin picking up a laptop from their school this coming Wednesday. And it looks like breakfast and lunch on Monday will be served. That's going to be available for students to pick up at 4 area schools, included Warfield Elementary School, Port Salerno Elementary School, J.D. Parker Elementary, and Home Sound Elementary School. And the rapid spread of coronavirus causing cancellations and postponements of sporting events and affecting sports around the globe. We learned on Monday that Major League Baseball will not start the 2020 season until at least mid-May. And the list of players in the NBA who have tested positive continue to grow as the Lakers and Celtics have confirmed players on their rosters testing positive for COVID-19, with Boston guard Marcus Smart confirming his diagnosis on social media. Hey, tonight, if you're missing your dose of NCAA, we have the best of the last 40 years NCAA tournaments going on. Tonight, tune in for the huge 2018 upset with UMBC and Virginia at 8. You can hear it right here on AM 1450 WSTU, and our sister station has it too, AM 1590 WPSL. News time is 8:24. Weather and traffic together will be next.
$8:25, the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
No accidents right here. Everything just looking fine on our roadways, Martin County and St. Lucie County. It's a good ride this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. Sunshine peeking through. It's 72 in Port St. Lucie. We have 74 in Stewart. Here's our weekend outlook at WPTV.
Happy first full day of spring this morning along the Treasure Coast. Temperatures starting off in the low 70s with 60s inland. Other than some patchy fog, your morning drive should be quiet with mostly clear skies overhead. This afternoon, highs reaching the low to mid 80s under partly sunny skies and a slim chance for a quick moving shower. Winds will stay breezy out of the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 69 degrees. A warm and sunny weekend on tap. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s, highs reaching the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny skies with low rain chances and light southeast winds. Great boating conditions, but a high risk for rip currents across area beaches.
Welcome back to Martin County's Heritage Radio Station, WSTU, AM 1450. Now back to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie.
8:29, the time to Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. And this hour we're devoting to anti-bullying, something that I'm very, very serious about, an advocate about. Speak Life, the musical. It's a musical about anti-bullying in the day in the lives of two students. I do believe two students that play the victim, so to speak. There's Rachel, who's the new girl, and my son Gavin, who also plays the victim as well. But right now, joining us on the microphone is Elizabeth, who is actually known as the lead punk, otherwise known as the girl that does the bullying. But in studio today, she's going to be very timid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, I again, a big thank you to Rebecca and Dan, who head up Speak Life, the musical. They are the producers of this wonderful musical, folks. I can't stress enough, if you can get out there and see the musical presentation, if you don't have a tear in your eye by the end of the performance, there's got to be something wrong, because it is a tearjerker and it really gets the message apart. Elizabeth, tell me a little bit about your role and why you decided to get involved with this.
Well, so I have a vocal coach, and she was holding auditions for the show, and she knew Rebecca and Dan, so she made it available to her students. And I thought it was a really cool program, and I decided to hop in, and I didn't know that it was going to be such a life-changing experience for me. So I play the lead punk girl, and as you could probably tell by the name, she's a little fierce, but she really does more of the bullying than being more of a victim herself. And in particular, she really takes that out on Rachel's character, the new girl. And a lot of the ways that I kind of go for her, I guess, is physical appearance. And I feel like that's something that is really important for the show, because especially with girls my age, since I'm in high school, like a lot of the stuff that is talked about and stuff like that is focused on appearance. And through that, because even with me, like I have my own insecurities with my appearance, and sometimes it's pretty common, but it's good to take that into account while I'm playing the character and kind of channel that energy towards a better cause, I guess, and to show other
Right.
people that this is normal, but it's okay because we're gonna get through it.
In school today too, competition is like at its highest. Like who can outdress who can outdo who's got the better car, who's got the nicer dress, who's carrying the Coach bag, who's carrying the Walmart purse. Rebecca, it's a constant competition, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, it is. There's so much pressure. And then you add in social media, and then it's just beyond. We find, especially with girls, I think it's girls and guys, but I think many times the bullying can be different and it can look different. But we see often with girls that it is focused on both appearance, what they have, what they don't have, what social circle they're moving in, what the last selfie they took on Instagram looks like. There's so much in regards to their self-worth in association with their physical appearance. And we really try to portray that through the show, both through social media, as well as those face-to-face conversations that can be so cutting. I think there's so many things that we say to each other, and oftentimes as we're in those formative years of middle school and high school, we don't realize the power of our words. And the reason why it's called Speak Life the Musical is because we focus into the power of what we say to one another. And I think Elizabeth's character as the lead punk, it's so much about what it is she's saying to that new girl, and what it is she's saying about her, about whether she fits in or doesn't fit in, about whether she's able to move in this friend circle or that friend circle, and the power of the words and the way in which it cuts down Rachel's character, and how she takes in those words and how she has to then walk that out in her daily life. And I think that that's something everyone experiences, both girls and guys, on a daily basis, whether it's in person or through social media.
Yeah, because I noticed, Elizabeth, you're pretty harsh on Rachel. I mean, you're downright harsh. I mean, you are like a bully at its best.
Yeah.
And it just kind of
Or worst.
Yeah. When you go into the lunchrooms, Elizabeth, and you're talking to the kids and you're out of character, you're just, Elizabeth, the teenager. How do you feel? I don't want to say what are the kids saying to you, because that's very private and very confidential. But how do you feel as a person when these kids are opening up to you as a teenager, when they can't even open up to their mother or their father or a teacher in school, but yet they're opening up to a complete stranger?
I take it as such a huge responsibility, because I know what these kids are saying have probably been on their minds for a long time. And they probably, not that they don't have anyone to go to, but for them, trusting a stranger to say it, in my opinion, I feel like they think it's more safe, because they know, oh, they're not going to go tell anybody else. So it'll be fine. It'll be confidential. So I take the lunchrooms as like a huge responsibility for me, because as someone who, has their own insecurities, like this is a reality for a lot of kids. And even it's for me, it's an honor, really, because I don't know. It makes me really just glad that I can be there with these kids and to be through what they're going through. And even if my character is a bully, they don't really see it as that in the real end. Because a lot of times when I go into the lunchroom, they'll just treat me like any other person, which makes me feel really good. And I'm glad that they can come to someone.
Dan, there's another side of the production that people don't get to see, and that's everything that goes into things before and after.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you guys are a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
And I know that recently our church surprised both you and your wife with a very nice donation, which just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that that was happening except for Todd and Julie and a few select people. But, you know, it's a constant expense to put these musicals on. So with that said, Dan, if you would give out the website, and if people want to make a donation to help the cause, where can they go, and what can people do?
Well, first, the website is speaklifethemusical.org. They can go to the website, and there's a tab that says donate as soon as they open up the webpage. And there's two ways that they can do that. They can do that with a one-time donation, or they can click on the little tab that says monthly. We're in the process of getting the website updated so that they can also donate in the name of somebody, so that they know somebody that's been bullied or they've been bullied themselves. They can click on that little heart icon on the bottom, and they can leave the name of the person that they'd like to donate in the name of. But yeah, I mean, it definitely costs a lot to do what we do. I know you're talking about Pastors Todd and Julie from Christ Fellowship. They had contacted us and asked us what the 3 greatest needs were that we've been considering and trying to work through. And that was, we needed to raise $150,000 for equipment, because a lot of our equipment is very old. We've been doing this for almost 18 years, touring all around the United States. So if you've ever been in a box truck, you know how it rattles things around.
Oh, yeah.
And you know,
Oh, yeah.
you could put some furniture in there and just go 2 miles, and by the end, your furniture is destroyed. So that's kind of what we deal with. So over 18 years, a lot of it is broken down, and they've been exceptionally generous to us. But we do still need to raise an additional $100,000. We were looking for warehouse space for rehearsals. We need some air-conditioned warehouse space for us to be able to do some rehearsals. And then, you know, of course, because we are nonprofits, we still have salaries and people that work for our organization.
Right.
At this point, everyone that works for our organization is volunteer. And we're trying to get the organization to a place where we can begin paying people that we need in very specific areas in order to do what we do more effectively. So those are the areas that we really need help. So if people are interested in giving monthly, they can go to the website, and honestly, anything from, you know, $25 a month to $25,000 a month would be fantastic.
Oh, if you get a donation for 25 grand, wow.
You get a finder's fee for that?
Yeah. Without a doubt, definitely. So, Elizabeth, I want to go back to you for a moment. How long have you been involved with the musical?
I've been doing this since September 2019, so it's coming up
1 year anniversary pretty soon, a couple months. Wow.
It's exciting.
Okay. You know, they say, Elizabeth, that once you're in, it's like a second family. And I hear this from my kid.
Who says that?
You know,
who says that?
I hear this from my kid, that it's like a second family. You've taken on brothers and sisters, that there's a special bond with you and the cast. What is it about that?
Well, I think we all come together for the cause, and especially there was one rehearsal where it was early on in the process, and it was really emotional because a lot of people started opening up about their journeys with bullying, and that's when I kind of knew that we were all in this together, and that the only way that we were going to prevent this is by coming together and uniting. And just being in constant contact with these people, seeing these people every week. I mean, for me, it's like, how can you not be family with them? They mean so much to me, and the bonds that I've made with this company, I really hope that I can keep for as long as I can.
Folks, we have to step back for a moment and take care of business. My special guests, of course, Rebecca and Dan Bird. They head up Speak Life the Musical. And that's Elizabeth, who we've been talking to. She is one of the two bullies, so to speak. She's known as the lead punk who picks on poor Rachel, but not in real life, of course, because they all love each other.
She's actually really wonderful.
Yeah, actually, definitely so. But it's now time for news once again, all brought to you by the all-new Maserati Stewart, where you can spring into savings with the rich heritage of Italian motoring that's now within reach at the all-new Maserati Stewart. Get a new 2019 Levante for just $799 a month or 0% financing. Maserati Stewart, located 3980 Southeast Federal Highway in Stewart, online at MaseratiStewart.com. Luxury Legacy Maserati Stewart, MSRP $79,000, all-wheel drive, 39-month lease, $8,999 due at signing, plus tax, title, license, no security deposit, with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer expires April the 2nd. Let's head over to the news desk for a quick update from Bonnie. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning. And Walmart announced on Thursday that it will be providing cash bonuses for its hourly associates for their hard work and dedication during the coronavirus pandemic. The retail giant also revealed that it's hiring 150,000 new associates through the end of May to work in stores, clubs, distribution centers, and fulfillment centers. Walmart says the bonuses are for all U.S. hourly associates in stores, clubs, supply chain, and offices. There'll be $300 for full-time hourly associates and $150 for part-time hourly associates, adding up to more than $365 million. Every hourly associate employed by the company as of March 1st will qualify, and it will pay out on April 2nd, according to Walmart. Well, the latest from the NFL, NFL confirmed the first COVID-19 case. It looks like it's New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton who has tested positive for the coronavirus. Our news time is 8:43. Weather and traffic together will be next.
$8:44. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Coda Roofers. Bonnie?
We don't see any accidents for a Friday, so it's a good looking if you're heading out to work. If you're going to the store right now, we don't have any accidents or slowdowns. There's your latest look at traffic. Stuart, we are up to 74, a partly sunny sky, and here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy first full day of spring this morning along the Treasure Coast. Temperatures starting off in the low 70s with 60s inland. Other than some patchy fog, your morning drive should be quiet with mostly clear skies overhead. This afternoon, highs reaching the low to mid 80s under partly sunny skies and a slim chance for a quick moving shower. Winds will stay breezy out of the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 69 degrees. A warm and sunny weekend on tap. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s, highs reaching the low to mid 80s. Mostly sunny skies with low rain chances and light southeast winds. Great boating conditions, but a high risk for rip currents across area beaches.
Welcome back to Martin County's Heritage Radio Station, WSTU, AM 1450. Now back to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie.
8:48 the time, the Get Up and Go Show. This hour, of course, we're talking anti-bullying. Speak Life the Musical, headed up by Rebecca and Dan Bird. Notice I did put Rebecca's name first, which is the proper way to do things.
I noticed that.
Dan gets second billing. Sorry.
Often.
She's prettier than you.
That's true.
Anyway, joining us in this final segment is my boy, who I'm proud of what he's doing. And he was bullied as a child as well. Gavin plays the victim. Gavin, this is strange that I'm interviewing my own kid.
It is.
But that's all right. Hey, Gavin, what's up, buddy?
Nothing much.
So you play you play the victim. Tell me about what your role is in the musical and how you got involved and why you got involved.
So how I got involved, we were at church and Dan came to our church. I'm talking about we had a video clip that was played and he talked to us after it saying that they're getting their cast back together. At that point I was very confused. I'm like, there's a cast? And we also got an email about it and I read about them and I looked them up and I'm like, oh, I really like this play. And so I signed up that night to join the cast and I got called for an audition and then I got the role of victim, obviously, because I got called back for it. And just with me in the play, I'm kind of representing the voice for the voiceless, for the kids that get picked on in school but don't want to say anything because they're scared.
I like that the fact that you say the voice for the voiceless, because when you meet with these kids afterwards, they're afraid to talk, but they're listening to what you're saying and they relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yes.
They open up to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very emotional thing for you as well, because I know growing up as your dad, you were bullied in school as well. It's hard for me to fathom that. But how were you bullied? Because do you mind sharing it with the listeners?
Yeah, so it was like mainly 7th through freshman year of high school. I was, as you know, I was like 5'3" because you're my father and you know my height.
Yeah.
Before I got to where I am now, I was like 5'3", very short, very skinny. I had really long hair and then really short hair. So I got called short, midget, ugly. It's just those words that would break me down all the time. And just I would cry about it a lot. And just I had no one to talk to. I was scared to talk to you guys about it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I finally opened up to you guys, it really helped. And just
you had thoughts of suicide at one point.
Yes.
Which totally blew your mom and I away. That it never, I don't even know what to say about that. When I remember you came to us and we discussed it, and you were at a very dark place in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful you didn't do that. And you found a way to battle that through this musical. And now you're delivering a positive message to people.
Yes.
How is it when you go into the lunchrooms and you talk to these kids?
Well, I'm usually one of the first people to walk in because I'm always out of costume the fastest, always front of line, because I want to meet these kids. Like, I want to meet them. I want to hear their stories. I want to know what they thought of the show. And just at first it's very hectic because we have partners when we walk into the lunchroom. So with Anderson Middle School, it was me and one of the jocks. We were partnered up. And as soon as we walked in the lunchroom, we just got swarmed. Like, we couldn't walk, we couldn't talk, we couldn't do anything. I was like, oh, all right.
I remember you told me that one of the schools you guys were at, when you walked into the lunchroom, you guys got like a standing ovation.
Yeah, that was Jensen Beach.
What was that?
That was Jensen Beach High School.
Uh-huh.
We didn't expect it at all. We walked in and just pure, kids clapping their hands, cheering for us. And I looked at my partner and everyone behind me. I'm like, oh, this is new.
Rebecca, how did that make you feel? Because, you just don't let the kids go by themselves in the lunchroom. The two of you, along with the other adults that are part of your organization, escort these kids and oversee everything as not only a parent, but also as co-producers, you and your husband. How does that make you feel? These kids are walking in a lunchroom, total strangers. They stop eating their lunch. They stand up and give the cast a standing ovation.
It's unbelievable. To me, it is that powerful connection of both peer-to-peer and the power of art. And we know that theater has a tremendous influence on people. And there's a reason why we love Broadway shows. There's a reason why we love going to see actors and singers live in person, because we make a direct connection to them. And it's so important for us that kids have a moment where they look up on the stage and they see one of our actors and say, wow, that they sound like me. They look like me. They look like a group that I hang out with, or they just have that kind of Me Too moment where they make those direct connections and see themselves inside the story. And I think when that happens, and then they get to meet those actors live in person, it's such an incredible moment. We always try and prepare our actors for what that's going to be like. And sometimes they don't believe it could possibly happen, but they walk in there and it's almost, I think Anderson Middle, we said it was kind of like a Justin Bieber moment when they walked into that room. Those kids just freaked out, so excited. And I think that just shows the power of what art can do. And it also puts our actors in this tremendous place of responsibility, just like Elizabeth was talking about, where they know that they now need to go in and they need to represent the message that they just portrayed out on that stage. And our actors do that in an amazing way. They know when they go on social media, they have to continue to represent this powerful message. And my two sons are also in the production. If you're joining us live on Facebook, you'll see my son Toby sitting here next to me. We're so proud of the work that our students do. And I'm so proud to say that these are students who, like Gavin is telling us, have walked through these experiences themselves. Right. And many of them are walking out their pain vulnerably live on stage through their characters. And I think that's why the show is so powerful, because these actors bring their real life stories to the stage and to the characters they're representing.
Yeah.
Your son is sitting here next to us, and Toby, I want to ask you a question. Bring that microphone over to you. It's not going to bite you. Just kind of pull it over there. You play a part in the musical. Come close. It's not going to bite you, I promise. Tell me about your part in the musical also.
Well, in like the grand scheme of things, my part would seem like a smaller part, but there's never really a small part when it comes to the show, because every kid's going to walk in and they're going to look on stage and they're going to go, well, maybe I didn't identify with the four main characters, but I saw that one kid and I really could connect with him, and then they can go talk with him afterwards. And that's how they can really get connected and get help for problems that they may be going through. I play more of like an artsy, fun type of character. I basically get to play myself, which makes it really easy.
Like the class clown, so to speak.
The theater kid.
Theater kid. Okay. All right. And how has this affected your life personally? I mean, yes, your parents produce the musical, but personally, excluding your parents for 30 seconds, how has that affected your life?
Well, it all started when I was born.
He's a jokester. You can hear it.
I understand that. I understand. But personally, as a teenager, how has it affected you?
Well, it's
close to
it's
the mic.
definitely
Into the mic.
Yes, mic. This. It's fun to be able to hang out with my friends on Sundays, and when I go into the school, I can tell my other friends about, hey, you should check out this cool musical. I'm in it. My parents are in it. It's a ton of fun. And I get to do it with a bunch of people that I get to hang out with. And it's sort of like a second family to me.
Right.
Because I have my family at home. I have all my friends at school. And then I have this family. So it's like I get to just sort of widen my range of people I can meet, people I can relate to. And so I know people from all around the county because of this show. And I've been able to meet people I never thought I would meet before, all through the show.
That's complete craziness. That I've heard not only from you, but like from everybody, that this becomes a second family, Dan and Rebecca, to everybody. It's just an extended family. You guys literally almost live together.
Yeah. Our cast love each other so much, and that means the world to us, because it's not just about what it is we're doing in the schools. It's about cultivating our message within our community. And we are going to be doing some more auditions coming up later this spring. Once we're able to be together again, we'll be auditioning again. So stay in touch with us on Instagram and Facebook, both places you can get us at Speak Life the Musical. And if you're an actor and you would be interested in auditioning, we'd love to have you come out. We're going to be hopefully creating a North Cast and a South Cast so that we can be heading a little further south into Florida as well. But we want to be able to be available to every school that needs us. And to do that, we need to make sure that we've got enough casts available to be in different schools at different times, so we can really meet the need, because the need is enormous both around our county and all through the Treasure Coast and South Florida.
Dan, if you want to, again, please give out the website, how people can reach you, if there's a phone number, an email address, your social media handles, if you would, please.
Sure. If you want to give us a call, you can call us at 877-SPEAK-LIFE, and you can find us online, Instagram, Speak Life, Facebook, Speak Life, the musical. Instagram and Facebook are Speak Life the Musical. And then you can go to our website, speaklifethemusical.org. speaklifethemusical.org.
And Gavin, I forgot to ask you one question, like I've asked, all the other kids that are here today. How has this affected your life personally?
It shows that we can make a change. We can change how others treat others. We could change how we stand up for others. We could change what we do when we see bullying, and just in general, we can make a change.
Wow. Powerful words from a kid that's 16, other teenagers here in the room. Dan and Rebecca Bird, the producers of Speak Life the Musical. Folks, if you get a chance, get out and see this. It's going to come to an area near you, a school, a church, a theater. It's as bad as what's going on in the world. Bullying needs to stop, and this is one way that Dan and Rebecca want to get the word out. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and this is going to happen again and again. I'm going to have you guys on as much as possible.
Thank you.
Folks, that's a wrap for the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. We will be back Monday. We hope you have a great weekend. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. Folks, have a safe weekend, and remember, 6 feet, okay? Just 6 feet apart. Anyway, we say that jokingly but seriously. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.